Good morning, Tucson. Welcome to Mineral City TV. It's day 3 of the TV show and day 2 of the actual mineral show. This morning I'm standing in front of the La Fuente building, one of the most recognizable buildings in the area with its bright pink color and its rich history, being owned by the rock courier himself. And with a special treat this year, we have the Arkenstone in the building. There was a little bit of complications with some other locations, so this is where they're going to be set up this year, and where you can see some of the most amazing specimens anywhere in Tucson. Arkenstone is a common name. Anyone in the mineral business knows the company, and it's owned by Rob Levinsky. We're going to go inside and take a look at a very special thumbnail collection he purchased. So why don't you follow me, and we'll go on in and we'll meet Rob. You go first this time, so everyone's not looking at my back. And as you can see, the really incredible structure here, beautiful doors, very historic building. Let's go on inside, and in here we have Mr. Rob Levinsky.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being with us. It's just a pleasure. Just amazing stuff in here, and we will be coming through this room and showing you his specimens at another date. But this morning we're here especially to talk about the Alex Schauss thumbnail collection. So you want to take us back, and
this is kind of surreal. So this is it's the Courier building.
It's the Courier building.
The Courier aura hanging over us.
The history here is
and to be
amazing.
here, where his collection was. But Rock particularly loved thumbnails, and I think the idea of converting this to a thumbnail room would have appealed.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna skip all this big stuff.
We will get back to these at another date, everyone. I mean, as we walk through, you can see great stuff.
The great Jeff Scoville perusing
the one and only
his own photos.
Admiring his work.
Jeff, what a beautiful photo.
Nice pictures, yes.
All right, well, Rob, so I was informed that you purchased this entire collection, and it is presented the way you purchased it.
It's evolution.
Oh, hey guys. Hey guys.
Excuse us.
Video. We're going to ask for a minute. Thank you. But it's good. We have a crowd before opening.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's a complicated story. I purchased the collection, but it's as much a surprise to me as anybody. Mm-hmm. I've known Alex since the 90s, and one day he called me and said, I've made my decision, I'm ready to sell. Oh. So my first question is why? And my second question is why me? And I think this is part of the story that we'll talk about. Alex has spent his life as a thumbnail collector elevating the sport, right? Getting more people to appreciate these. And part of how he's done that is articles, publicizing exhibits, in particular with Jim Horan working on numerous exhibits.
Sure.
And his idea that thumbnails should be displayed in the home, like a real collection,
Absolutely.
right? Like
instead of in boxes and drawers like so many people do.
Yeah, bingo. So what we talked about was, if he sold the collection to me, how could I do this in a way that showed the collection outside the home so people could appreciate not just the minerals or the value, but this idea
The
of
presentation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And these custom molded things. So I bought the cases, we moved them from his home, and what we're doing here is setting it up. This is the whole collection. It is 888 items in this little area. And the idea is to display it and show people throughout the show. So even once we sell things, they need to remain. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be an exhibit.
So they can't take them if they do purchase anything here.
They will take them later.
Eventually, yes. Not the day they maybe purchase it.
Everything in time.
Absolutely.
And what we've done is just reassemble it as it was in his home. And of course we did the book, so we're going to be doing a book signing.
Absolutely. We'll talk about that in just a minute.
And the goal is to really show people, visually, the power of a well-assembled group of thumbnails.
Yeah. I mean, the color spray, the color, variety and brightness of the whole case really stands out.
And the number of species. One of the things Alex would always tell people, part of the fun of being a thumbnail collector is you could actually own more good examples of more species.
A lot of people feel that way, and that's why they start with the thumbnail collections, because not everyone can afford those big cabinet-sized specimens.
Well, the funny thing is, as you get to the next shelf, you'll realize, in defiance of his own argument, here's a shelf of 100-something calcites, because calcite's amazing, right?
Sure.
But other than that shelf, there's lots of species.
All right, so which one is your favorite one in this case? Let's take a quick look at your favorite piece out of this one.
Oh, that's not fair.
Okay, maybe not your favorite. Just pick a good one.
That's really difficult. And actually, several of my favorites are these extreme rarities that you never see hardly.
Sure.
and there's a few of those in the other case as well. But God, I have to choose. This
No
is
pressure.
really difficult.
I don't think anyone's going to be really disappointed with anything you pull out. So
Yeah. Oh, this is really difficult. Okay, you're gonna laugh at me, but it's not expensive. But when do you ever see a matrix molybdenite thumbnail that's not just one of those little discs from Canada?
little flowers, yeah.
Yeah, for classic Washington molybdenum mine. I love that. I love this. You know, this wolframite from Korea. And again, a lot of these are not expensive things necessarily. They're just fine.
Yeah,
quality.
they're exquisite, each one in their own way, just in the perfection and composition of them.
Yeah, things you don't normally see.
So Alex was also active, in other things in the mineral business as well. I heard he is pretty much responsible for creating wolfenite as the state mineral here in Arizona.
He is. Actually, we should come back to this.
Okay.
This is beautiful. Let me find the show poster for you. So he made an exhibit in the Capitol building showing primarily rally mine wolfenites as well as red clouds, and convinced the legislature that we should have a state mineral here. That piece is also the show poster for the first Phoenix show. They call it the heartbeat wolfenite because of the mimetite in the middle. And Alex was personally involved in mining this, actually.
Great.
He helped at the rally. So yeah, that is a point of pride for him. And can you believe, I assumed Arizona had a state mineral.
You would assume so. I'm from New York, and we're actually trying still to get the Herkimer made the state mineral, because it is not currently, and it really should be. All right, so we have another case. So while we're looking at this case, can you tell us about your somewhat complicated system you've created to distribute this collection to the public?
Sure. So when I bought it, everything was happiness and sparkles. And I'm thinking, well, this is great. I'll buy the collection. I'll move it to this legacy space in the Courier building and, disperse it the way they did the Courier collection, show this. And I didn't really think about the politics or the efficiency of doing that. So as time has gone on, I've had numerous people come up to me and say, well, you're an idiot for this reason, that reason. You can't release 900 items at once, and particularly to thumbnail people who are very competitive.
It would be a feeding frenzy.
The light bar burned out on several of these. Unfortunately, during the move, we lost the light bar. So what do you do when you have 5 people who want the same famous dioptase thumbnail, or the groundhog pyrite I'll pull out and show you in a minute? I can't choose among these friends, and thumbnail collectors are very competitive. Some people have wanted these for decades. We decided on an auction system, at which point you have to decide which pieces to pull to make it fair. And at the end of the day, what we were trying to do is develop a system where about 10% is being offered online in auctions, so even people who aren't here can participate. A number of those are pieces that lots of people wanted, which solves that political problem. It's fair, it's open. And then for the rest of it, we priced half of them. So the people who come, they'll get a ticket, choose one, go to the end of the line, someone else can choose one, and we're just trying to make it as fair as possible.
Let everybody get some of this collection.
So, yeah,
Instead
exactly.
of one person coming in and scooping up a good portion of it, or all the top pieces.
To be honest, I mean, this is crazy, but I could sell the entire collection right now to one person.
I'm sure. There's no doubt about that.
So one person would write me a check. I have another person who would buy the top 10 or top 20. But I don't think that's a long-term good for my customers.
Maybe not necessarily
and friends.
what Alex would want either.
And it's not. So these are going to go to the most homes in a way that's the more open and fair way. And so what we've had to do is develop this tiered auction style. So there's lots of colorful dots in the case now. Those represent different weeks over several weeks of auctions. Some of the most famous things, actually, I'll go pull one, are in the auction. So, who knows what this pyrite from Colorado is worth. I'll pull it out for you. And we've separated some of the premier auction items to be in another case. Yeah, that might be the most iconic piece of the collection.
And where is that from?
This is a pyrite from the Groundhog Mine in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
And I know at least 20 people who want it. What's the fair way to do it?
Auction.
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 And so, since we have the platform, that's what I'm doing. This phosphophylite next to it, that's a beautiful phosphophylite twin is going up for auction. So the auctions will include a number of the major pieces.
And some of the pieces aren't going to be auctioned off until next year, correct?
Correct. And then we're saving about 350 pieces for next year. I don't think we should
There's no
dump
rush.
this to the market.
There's no rush.
There's no rush. And here, if you want to talk about a few more favorites.
Sure, absolutely.
This is part of what makes the collection so interesting, is that there's things like this. I don't know if you can get light on it. That's a Wittichenite from Australia. Heavy, heavy, heavy emphasis on superb crystals of rarities next to beautiful crystals of rhodochrosite. And it's just such a beautiful color balance how he's been able to do that.
The colors are really what's most shocking when you look at the collection as a whole.
Right.
You know, it's just so vivid and bright.
And then for me as a collector, what I like seeing are these superb examples of so many different species in one place.
Awesome.
But it's in an attempt to do something good and make this public and show the whole collection, we have made something simple really complicated to disperse.
And you have something special planned for tonight, correct?
Yes. So tonight we're going to have the release party. Auctions will close different times over the next 2 weeks. But tonight, everything that is priced otherwise will be available for release.
But they can't take it home with them today.
Correct.
Have to wait till the end of the show.
Right, which is also interesting. The psychology of thumbnail collectors, I love you guys, but thumbnail collectors are really devoted collectors of their toys. There's some people who say, you know, if I can't take it home with me now, I don't want it. I actually lose some business by insisting that it stays on display.
But it's important to let everyone see this collection as a whole. I mean, the knowledge and years of, you know, collecting that is shown here is really, everyone should see it.
I think so. I mean, it's a stunning achievement, and I think Alex and I are both in agreement that we want the most people to see it as possible before it, you know, disperses.
Absolutely.
But the ironic thing is, by doing it publicly, I actually lose some business, although you gain others and you educate people.
I think you've made a really sensible plan here to release this out to everyone and make it fair as possible.
Thank you. With the help of a lot of color dots.
Can we show the book real quick and talk about what's going on this evening along with the quick release, and then we'll wrap this up and we'll be back to talk to you multiple times, I'm guessing, while we're here.
So we have a book done in collaboration with the Mineralogical Record, and this is meant to be the Bible for thumbnails. History of thumbnail collecting, history of exhibiting, and then we are using the Schauss collection as an example of a complete collection to show, you know, the refinement that's possible in a major thumbnail collection.
And Alex is going to be here.
Alex will be here tonight to sign, and I might point out one thing in the time remaining. One of the things we wanted to emphasize in the book, and again here on the floor, is Alex's idea that a thumbnail display collection should be brought into the home and
displayed. Yeah. Well, Rob, thank you so much for showing us this amazing thumbnail collection. We'll be back later today to talk to you again, and just a pleasure.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what's in the other room.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, we're in the new La Fuente, well, not a new La Fuente building, an old La Fuente building, and it's now part of the Mineral City family. Stay tuned later for a special treat, and we'll see you tomorrow.